Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. There was a gap of 2 weeks. I was out of station, and before that, we had started the first chapter of Bhagavad-githa. We decided that we will go through the verses itself one by one. So we had just started with the first chapter. As we know, Bhagavad-githa consists of 18 chapters divided into 3 sections, the 6 each. The first 6 chapters, middle 6, and the last 6 chapters. In that, the middle 6 chapters are very, very important, from 7th to the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. And this, how to study, just one approach with faith and a curiosity to understand what is the discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. Just a general curiosity, like we hear about any conversations. So it's a very interesting conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada writes that we should have the same attitude as that of Arjuna. That is the attitude in understanding the Bhagavad-githa. What is that attitude? Arjuna accepted Krishna as Bhagavan. So the attitude, at least, even though we may not know the details of how Krishna is Bhagavan or why Krishna is Bhagavan, just to have that initial theoretical faith, because the acharyas have explained, the great acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Srila Prabhupada have accepted and have recommended or have taught that Krishna is the Supreme Bhagavan. With that initial faith and acceptance based on the authority. Otherwise, we don't have access to any of these spiritual truths. We can't see beyond the exosphere, we can't understand, even the material sphere also we can understand. On what basis we accept that there are 14 planetary system, there is a spiritual world beyond that, there are universes, there is Vaikuntha Loka, there is Bhagavad Krishna as Bhagavan. We have no clue. On our own understanding, our experimental knowledge, we can understand. The one system which we follow is called the path of acceptance. One is Avarohana Pantha, other is Arohana Pantha. Avarohana Pantha is when we try to figure it out ourselves by research and by our own trying to find out, which is not possible. Avarohana. And other is Arohana, where we accept authority. So accept the highest authority is that by the acharyas and the Shastra. We based on the authority of Shastra, we accept that Krishna is Bhagavan and we are following his instructions on the Bhagavad-githa. And as we started with the chapter 1, I'll just read through the summary and the verses, which is very important. And also I had requested all the devotees to study at home in detail because if you understand by studying verse by verse, line by line, that is more effective, and that is the best way to get dive deep into the subject. And we can always discuss and take questions when we gather. The first chapter is named as Observing the Battle Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra, Senavalokan, and also called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga, where Arjuna, by seeing the warriors on the opposite side of him, so whom he is supposed to fight in the battle, he is little disturbed and perplexed, and he expresses his concern as to why he should not fight. So that chapter, first we'll go through the verses and we'll see the details of that. The very first verse, it says, Dhritarashtravacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsava mamaka pandavascheva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So this is a doubt by Dhritarashtra. Interestingly, the Bhagavad-githa begins with the question by Dhritarashtra, and the rest of Gita is an answer of Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. He explains, or he narrates the entire the scenery, what is happening there, the events on the battlefield to Dhritarashtra. So here the Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada have commented on the terminology or the language of Dhritarashtra, because the language speaks about the mentality of the person who is speaking. So here Dhritarashtra's mentality is being discussed. In the very beginning he says, what did after my sons and the sons of Pandu, Prabhupada explains very nicely that he is discriminating between his own sons and the sons of Pandu. He is directly saying they are not my sons, they are the different party. And before coming to that point, Srila Prabhupada wonderfully mentions about the glory of, or the special feature of the Bhagavad-githa. Bhagavad-githa is a widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatma. This is one of the most famous books as far as when we hear of Hindu philosophy or the Sanatana Dharma philosophy. One book that is recommended, the unanimously accepted as the book of authority is the Gita. Very few people read the Vedas or have access to Vedas. The Mahabharata, Ramayana is general histories. But the one book in terms of Vedic knowledge we speak about is the Bhagavad-githa, because it is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures, also called Gita Upanishad. Okay, Bhagavad-githa. And here Prabhupada writes that it is the essence of all the scriptures, and what one can find out by reading all the scriptures can be found in the Bhagavad-githa. And also some things which are not to be found elsewhere are also available or to be found in the Bhagavad-githa. And it's also one of the conversations in Mahabharata. In fact, the purpose of writing Mahabharata was to give the knowledge of Bhagavad-githa. It's one of the chapters in the Mahabharata. Dharma Kshetre is a very important word, because it is a place of pilgrimage. And whenever there is some decision has to be taken, at least in terms of the truth. If a truth has to be spoken out, or if there is a dispute between two parties, and to make them speak the truth, the discussion or the dispute handling was done in a holy place. Now also in some villages they discuss the dispute in the temple premises, so that the people who are speaking, at least they don't lie in a temple premise. In the court also we see, people are made to keep their hand on the scriptures, Bhagavad-githa, say whatever I say will be true, what I'm saying is truth, like that. So Dharma Kshetra was decided because it is a place of pilgrimage even before the battle. We hear of instances when Parashurama killed the Kshatriyas 21 times. So at last he went to Kurukshetra and performed penances. Still there are the kundas where he took bath as a prayashchita homa he did, and he atoned for the sins he might have committed in the execution of his duty. And even before all the time. People used to regularly go to Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, to perform religious activities like Homa, Havan, they used to do. So this place was selected, Kurukshetra. And again, the mentality of Dhritarashtra, he was blind physically, but he was also spiritually blind also, because he didn't have a clarity of dharma, though he was supposed to have that clarity, because he is king, and king is addressed as Naradeva, the representative of God in the human society, because king is given the power to run the society. Okay? So king's responsibility to make sure that all are following dharma, the society is making progress. And when we mean society progress, we should make progress towards spiritual destination. Just material progress, material advancement, accumulation of wealth is not by itself progress. Of course, it is needed for our living conditions, but by its own, all of its own will again not help the people in any way. Because we might live a present life with the given facilities, a happy present life, but by the end of this life, we might have to again continue the cycle of birth and death. So, king's duty is to make sure that people are following. One is to give material facilities, other equally important was to give that project environment for spiritual progress. It's all about environment, correct? Now, previously environment was more conducive for bhakti. Now it is very detrimental. Lot of distractions, lot of non-devotional environment is now being it is prevalent all over. It's very difficult. So king's duty was to set up the right environment for people to make progress. But here the king himself is blind. He has no idea of what is dharma, what is adharma, what he should do, what he shouldn't do. Then because of his discriminating mentality is mentioned here. In discriminating my sons and the sons of Pandu. And Sanjaya, he is asking Sanjaya what did they do. And again another analysis is given. This Kurukshetra is again compared to a field, farmland, and Krishna is the gardener of this, is the farmer here. There it's mentioned as Krishna as the farmer or the gardener. So the paddy field, as in the paddy field, the unnecessary weeds are taken out. So here it will be very soon, it will be seen that the unnecessary weeds like the son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and his followers will be wiped out, will be plucked out, and the genuinely religious Yudhishthira will be established on the throne of Kurukshetra. In the Krishna Ashtottara, there are two names by which Krishna is glorified. One is called Yudhishthira Pratishtata, one who established the rule of Yudhishthira, and Duryodhana Kulantaka. He ended the Kula, the entire or the family lineage of Duryodhana. Duryodhana Kulantaka Yudhishthira Pratishtata. He established the Yudhishthira Maharaj as the king. So this is the first verse describes about the mentality of Dhritarashtra and how he was discriminating, and the purpose or the intent of Krishna is also mentioned here. And is also doubtful about whether the place of pilgrimage will have any positive effect on the Kauravas. He was afraid of positive effect. People are afraid of negative effect. He was thinking, I don't want my sons to come to an agreement because of the influence of the holy place. He didn't want that to happen. So sometimes when parents are told that the children are going to a bhakti program, they say don't go. They don't want children to come to bhakti program because they don't want the positive influence to influence them, because they want all their children's energy to be focused on academics and more studies. They want them to concentrate fully on that, and any kind of spiritual activity is taken as a distraction or a game spoiler in their plans. So this is the influence of the positive. He didn't want them to be affected positively. He wanted his sons to remain or retain that mentality of their usurping the property of the Pandavas. That is what is the father also wants. And the next few verses describe about the armies on both sides. Sanjay watch. Sanjay is now describing. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam vyudam Duryodhanastada Acharyam upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So now the first narration, because Dhritarashtra is hearing, to encourage Dhritarashtra, here Sanjay is addressing Duryodhana as the king, because he was the contestant. The battle was between two contestants. One side is Duryodhana, other side is Yudhishthira. If this party wins, Duryodhana will become king, other party wins, the Yudhishthira Maharaj will become the king. So Duryodhana, although he was not the commander-in-chief, he was the contender, and he was the kind of main. It was for him that the battle was being fought. He was the one of the main contestants. And there, after seeing the army, opposite army, as we know, there are 18 Akshawanis that fought. 11 were on side of Kauravas, and then 7 Akshawanis were on phalanx. And the commander-in-chief who made arrangements on the Pandava side was Drishtadyumna, who was the son of Drupada Maharaj, the brother of Draupadi. So he was the expert in setting up the army formation. And the opposite side was Dronacharya. He was setting up the formation. They were the commander-in-chiefs. In the Kaurava side, the commanders-in-chief changed, because all the commanders were killed. But on this side, we see that until the end, Drishtadyumna survived. He was killed after the battle by Ashwatthama to take revenge, because he happened to kill Drona. Okay, so he was and Dronacharya is the teacher of the Drishtadyumna, and Duryodhana is reminding. Just look at the wordings. He says, by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada, how it has been arranged, military formation. So he just saw the armies and is speaking to his teacher. Then what he said is here. Pashaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatimchamum Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Look at how nicely your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada, has organized or arranged our opponent army. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions why he was very particular about mentioning the intelligent Drupada Putra. Because the history says that there was a dispute between Dronacharya and Drupada Maharaj. They happened to be classmates in Gurukula, and they grew up. Drupada Maharaj was the prince and Drona was the son of the Brahmana. And later he married the sister of Kripacharya, Kripi. They had a son Ashwatthama, but in a very, very poor condition. There is not even enough milk to feed the child. So there was acute poverty, and Dronacharya's wife reminded Dronacharya that the king Drupada Maharaj is your classmate. He studied with you. So why don't you go and ask for some help? At least get a cow, we can feed the child. So he goes to you know the story. He goes to the palace, and he was admitted before the king, and he requested that since we are both classmates, we are friends, I need your help. But there, Pandu Maharaj, Drupada Maharaj insults Drona, saying, well, you are a Brahmana, I can give you charity. That's not a problem as a Brahmana. But don't say that you are my friend. Because friendship happens only among equals. You are way below me. You cannot compare yourself with me. Because I am a king and you are a poor Brahmana. He felt insulted and he wanted to settle that. Then later, fortune was favorable to Drona. He happened to become the teacher of the Kuru Balakas. Correct? So when they are trained, he wanted to take the Dakshana, in time for Guru Dakshana. He said, now I want you to arrest Drupada. The princes go. It also, the other detail is that first the Duryodhana and his brothers were very proud of their strength. He said, we will go and catch him and bring him out. But then Bhima says, okay, let them go. So they go, they get defeated and come back. They get beaten up very heavily. Then Arjuna goes, he defeats the army of Drupada Maharaj and arrests him and brings him out. At that time, Dronacharya, he speaks to him. Now you are arrested by me. You are dependent on me. But still I will give half of the income. He will give back. And Drupada again in turn wanted to take revenge. So he performed a great sacrifice in which when he got the benediction. So what he wanted was, he wanted a son who will be able to kill Drona. That was the benediction he wanted. So he got a son who will later kill Drona, and he also got a daughter. That daughter was Draupadi. And when Draupadi, she was not born from the mother. She appeared from the Yajna Kunda. There, when she appeared, there was a Akashvani saying, this beautiful woman will be the cause of the destruction of many Kshatriya dynasties, many Kshatriyas. So it is already decided the purpose for which Draupadi had come. That's why people ask, why was Draupadi being insulted? Krishna should have avoided it, and it shouldn't have happened. It is not fair. She is Krishna Sakhi and the wife of the Pandavas. It shouldn't have happened. Then the explanation is given, because Draupadi did not appear to live like an ordinary woman and move on, how most people come and go. So she was sent to become instrumental in this execution of the mission of Krishna. And for this battle to happen, there has to be some cause. You can't just fight for no reason. So Draupadi's insult was one of the strong reasons for the battle to happen. So she was in a way instrumental in this whole execution of the mission of the Lord. And Duryodhana is reminding Drona that he is your student especially, and he is telling he giving him that don't forget that this son was begot, or the son appeared to kill you. So don't be lenient. That is the purpose he is saying. And he is now comparing or making an estimate of the strength of the opposite side. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayadi Yudhama Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudhana, Virata and Drupada. Virat Maharaj, Drupada Maharaj. He is saying there is also another estimation that who can become king? Who is qualified to become king? The Shastra says one who can fight a battle is eligible to sit on the throne. Political head was the first to fight. He was the foremost warrior. He would stand in the front and he would lead the battle from front. That is basically what he was saying. So nowadays the politicians sit in their AC chambers and send the soldiers to fight. That is not the king's business. The king would personally fight from the front. Even you see people as old as Bhishma, as old as Drupada, Virata, they are already quite old. So still they came to fight. Until the last moment they would fight. And even the Dasharatha Maharaj, when Vishwamitra Muni came to ask for Rama to accompany him to the forest, Dhritarashtra said, I will personally come. If you are troubled by the Asuras, please don't ask for Rama. He is too young, he is only 16 years old. He has not even completed his military training. So they are too young to take on the Asuras or Rakshasas. I will personally. He was ready to fight even at that age. So the king is one who is able to fight from the front. Here you see all the great warriors, both young, old, up to it said 6 generations fought. From Arjuna, his father, grandfather, his son, grandson. 6 generations fought in this battle. Drishtaketu Chaikitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibescha Narapungavaha. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chaikitana, Kashiraja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja is the foster father of Kunti Devi. So he is also grandfather of Krishna. Kunti Bhoja, Shaibya, all these great soldiers, they come to fight here. Yudhamanuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadescha Sarvaiva Maharata. Yudhamanu is there, Uttamoja is there, son of Subhadra. What is his name? Son of Subhadra? Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is there. And the five sons of Draupadi or Pandavas, they are also there. All these warriors are great. Chariot, Rathi, Maharati. And they had that different categories. Atirati, Maharati, different depend on their ability to fight. Maharatis. But for your information, oh best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified from my side to lead my military force, who are the great warriors on his side. So, Bhavan Bhishmasya Karmasya Kripasya Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikarmasya Somadatis Tataivacha. There are great personalities like you are there, that is Drona is there, Bhishma, Karna, Kripacharya, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishwara, who are always victorious in battle. In the commentary it said, Vikarna is also a brother of Duryodhana, one of the 100 brothers of Vikarna. Why is his name mentioned? Because he wanted to take him into confidence. When there was attempt to insult Draupadi, Vikarna opposed. Vikarna was who on his from the side of Kauravas, he opposed and he gave his own logic. There was a lot of logic whether Duryodhana can bet Draupadi or not, because he had lost himself before. After you lose yourself, you don't have authority upon those who are dependent on you to bet them, to put them in the bet. So that lot of back and forth discussion was happening. Sorry, Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira. Whether Yudhishthira can put Draupadi to bet or not. So that was the logic put forth by Vikarna also. Vikarna. There was a lot of discussion. But anyway, they pulled Draupadi into the arena and insulted her. So why Vikarna is mentioned? Because to take him into confidence. And when Vikarna, that is the nature of battle. Sometimes even though the opponent is not directly our enemy, he has not caused any harm to the warrior, but while facing the battle, one has to kill. Arjuna had no reason to kill Bhishma, no reason to kill Dronacharya, because they have all along been his well-wishers. They have caused no harm to them at all. In fact, they were the caretakers of Pandavas when they came young and helpless. They had no shelter. So they had given shelter. So Arjuna says, why should I kill Bhishma? Then Krishna says, just because they have taken the opposite side. For whatever reason, for maintenance, whatever reason, they have taken the side of the opponent, one has to fight. Another good case is Vikarna. And Bhima had taken a vow that I will kill all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. He will kill. And when Bhima and Vikarna faced each other, Bhima was not in was in Dharma Sankat. Bhima was wondering, why should I kill you? There is no reason I have to kill you, because you supported us. You spoke in favor of Draupadi, and you spoke in favor of Dharma. You never caused adharma. You have never harmed us. So there is no reason to kill you. But Vikarna says, it is a fight. It's a battle. You have to fight. You have to fight. So they faced each other, and he had to complete his vow also. So without his real intention to kill, he had to fight Vikarna, and he killed him also. So that is the nature of battle. Sometimes even there is an interesting case. Once Balaram speaks to Krishna during the marriage of Rukmini's marriage. Balaram, because he had to kill Rukmini, the brother of Rukmini. He insulted him and he had to kill him. He says, Balaram tells, the lives of Kshatriyas like us is sometimes very, very embarrassing. So sometimes you have to do things which really do not appeal to our heart, which we don't agree with, without our willingness, we have to do some. He tells about the dynamics or the complications involved in the life of a Kshatriya. Balaram speaks to Krishna. Sometimes he doesn't have intention to kill, but he has to do some acts which are not really his, he doesn't really want to do. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and are experienced in military science. So they are expert, and there are also others also, Jayadratha, Kritavarma and Shalya. They are all experts. And how Shalya was taken on the side of the, you know the story? Duryodhana. Shalya was the uncle of Pandavas. He is the brother of Madri, and he becomes the charioteer of Karna at the end. So the Shalya started off with an intention of joining the Pandavas, and but he had made a he was in favor of Pandavas because they are his what do you call it? Nephews. They are the nephews, the sons of his sister. So he wanted to join them and support them. But midway, the Duryodhana hosts them without telling who is the host. So he gives shelter for his army, for himself, gives all facilities, and then out of satisfaction, he tells whoever has made this arrangement will fight for him. He gives a word without knowing who hosted him. That is a trick of Duryodhana. He tricked him. So after once he committed to fight for one who has hosted him, I don't know the exact wording, it's there in Mahabharata, and Duryodhana comes forward and tells, it was I who hosted your reception here. Then he becomes in a Dharma Sankat. Then he goes and tells the Yudhishthira Maharaj, Yudhishthira, what to do? Now I have given my word that whoever took care of me during my journey, I will fight for him. But now I am sorry to find out that it is your opponent. Then Yudhishthira says, you have to live by your word. You have given a word to the person who has hosted you midway. So that way he had to take the side of Duryodhana. And he was instrumental in the killing of the Karna. He was continuously blaspheming Karna and demoralizing him while traveling, while taking him to the battlefield. And that was one of the reasons he got distracted and he was killed that way. Karna. Okay. Another 10 minutes we will cover some more verses. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam paryaptam tadametesham balam bhima virakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable. It's very, very big, and we are perfectly protected by Bhishma. Bhishma is protecting us. We had a great army, immeasurable, aparyaptam. Whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. He is overestimating, or is estimating in favor of his own strength. He is saying we are very powerful, we are stronger than the Pandavas, they are smaller in number, and the warriors are also less experienced, less powerful, whereas we have the greatest warriors, most powerful warriors. So our victory is certain. And then he gives the instruction saying, Ayanechu sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitaha Bhishma meva virakshantu bhavantaha sarvayevari. Because he had glorified Bhishma Dev excessively, now he wants to cover it up. He is saying, all of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So the others should not feel that he is giving overemphasis to Bhishma. He also covers it up saying that he is an old man, even though he is very expert and powerful, others might take advantage, the enemy might take advantage of his engagement on one side. So you should give support. So he is also giving prominence to other warriors also. So you are also powerful. So together let us fight the opponents. That is the intelligent, what you call diplomatic adjustment of Duryodhana here. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandson of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of fighters, blew his concher very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. And to initiate the battle and to give Duryodhana joy, and also is hinting that I am strong, I am not weak. Arjuna, Duryodhana again and again was reminded that please don't give in to your affection for your favorite grandchildren. Because they were well behaved, they were virtuous, everyone was fond of the Pandavas, and they were his favorite grandchildren also. And he was doubtful whether Bhishma will will fight with full participation. And now to tell Duryodhana that I am very much with you, I want to conduct this battle, he blew his conch shell. That is also, blowing of conch shell was the indication of the beginning of battle. Because there are some ground rules on which nowadays there are no ground rules. Just attack anytime, anywhere, attack civilian society. That's very, very nomadic or very, very uncultured way of fighting. Earlier, when even fighting also had its own ground rules and protocols, and the warriors would follow. And the battle would begin at a certain time and end at a certain time. They were seeing the Muhurta also. Muhurta, in fact, Duryodhana used to come to Sahadeva. Sahadeva was very intelligent, one of the most intelligent, and he had a very good knowledge of astrology and astronomy. So Duryodhana would take consultation from Sahadeva on when to start the battle next day. And Sahadeva would give him the correct time. See, interesting. The opponent is coming and asking you, when should I start the battle against you so that I will become victorious. But look at the the integrity or loyalty of character of the Sahadeva. He would, as a duty, he was asked, he would give the right the advice. This is the good time to start. And even Duryodhana, for that matter, had that culture. So you know the story when Bhishma took out 5 arrows to kill the 5 Pandavas. Correct, you know the story? So once Duryodhana was again and again repeating, you are too affectionate, you are not giving your best, you are not fighting your full strength, you are lenient towards the Pandavas. So that day Bhishma became very angry that you are doubting my integrity, loyalty. So okay, these 5 arrows I will kill all the 5 Pandavas tomorrow. So he kept aside 5 arrows. But Duryodhana was doubtful whether he will use it or not. Okay, give it to me, I will keep them with me, and tomorrow on the battlefield I will hand over them to you. So Duryodhana took those 5 arrows and kept it with him. And that night it came to know that they were all Guptachar, spying was there everywhere. So what would happen there? The news will come over to the other side. So news spread that Bhishma had taken out 5 arrows for the Pandavas. And Krishna disturbed Arjuna. They were discussing what to do with this. So Krishna makes a plan that now you go to Duryodhana's camp. There was an incident during the Vanavas. Duryodhana and his brothers once came to tease the Pandavas. They came on the royal dress with royal paraphernalia just to tease them. That see, you are in the Vana, you are like very simple conditions. And they had come to show off basically. At that time, some Gandharvas came down and attacked Duryodhana. They were fighting. And Duryodhana was getting beaten up heavily. So there it is said Bhima, Pandavas were observing, it's not too far from them. They were getting beaten up, they were getting thrashed by the higher authorities, by another army. So Bhima was enjoying. There is a context that Bhima's happiness is compared to something like, if I want to beat someone, I have a grudge against someone and I want to beat him, but for circumstance I cannot do anything to him for time being. But somebody else comes and chastises him. For example, let's say some neighbor is very, very headache person. He is all the time bothering you, giving disturbance. But we can't take him on because we are neighbors. But if someone else comes and fights and is really shouting at this fellow, we enjoy. Okay, pit another. Let him get thrashed. So Bhima was enjoying, Duryodhana was getting beaten up. Let them beat him up. So he was enjoying. But there, Yudhishthira Maharaj tells him. It's called as Kuru Pandav Nyaya. Kuru Pandav is very famous logic or famous phrase. Kuru Pandav Nyaya means Duryodhana said, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, whatever be the differences within us, we are brothers, cousin brothers, there may be differences in fights between us. But when another party comes and attacks anybody in our family, we have to come together and fight against that third party. It's called Kuru Pandava. Sometimes two brothers may have differences. They may not go well with each other. Two brothers. They may not like each other. But if another person comes and attacks this family, so the two differing brothers come together to fight the person who is against that family. It's called Kuru Pandava. So during that Kuru Pandava, Arjuna goes and defeats the opposite party and protects Duryodhana. So there Duryodhana gives a vow or give a benediction that you have saved my honor. If you want anything, let me know. I will give you what you want. So then Arjuna says, I will ask when I need some benediction. So there Krishna tells you take advantage of that. This, it is a big kind. Many times this Vardhan can be a big problem. Entire Ramayana is the story of the timely utilization of the Vardhan given by Dasharatha to Kaikeyi, right? So she kept it reserved. I will take what I need. So she took when she needed, and that caused so much disturbance in Ramayana, Ramachandra's life. So the similar way, so Krishna will go and ask. Now there is a benediction. You ask those 5 arrows. The moment Arjuna enters Duryodhana's cottage and Arjuna bows down, they will respect each other. Arjuna bows down to offer respect to Duryodhana. He said he embraced him. You are my brother, and you come here. He says, I wanted to remind you that you had given me a benediction when we were in Vanvas. Yeah, I very much remember. I'm still after that word. You want kingdom, take it. Ask anything you want. Asking not, there's not a selective asking. Ask anything you want, I will give it. There are open ask. You want the battle, the dynasty, I will give. We'll close the battle and I will give you what you want. Arjuna said, no, that I don't. Let the fight continue. I don't want to take a shortcut. I don't want to win over by asking for a boon. I want those 5 arrows. So that is the integrity or the power of words, how they would live up to their words. That's many such famous stories are there. Okay, so now saying, so give protection to Bhishma. Okay, Bhishma he blew his consul to give indication that, to give a message to Duryodhana that I am strong, I am with you, we will fight. And in response to that, after that consul, many drums, bugles, trumpets and horns. And Prabhupada said, even until recently, whenever there was a battle, there was background music. There will be some different one class of people who play drums. So they would play drums to encourage the warriors to fight nicely. If there is the Kshatriya business is very simple. If there is difference, don't quarrel commenting each other. Come one time, finish it off, fight and finish it off. Don't carry it, gossiping about each other. That is not allowed. And fight, one of them will die and that's it. So face each other, fight nicely, finish it off. Don't carry it for years. So there was a lot of kettle drums, instruments were sounded to give encouragement to the warriors. And on the other side, in response to the consuls were blown by the other soldiers also, opposite side. Here we can see that every warrior had his own personal consul. And every Kshatriya, during those times, used to maintain their personal fire also. Personal fire. It said the fire, Bhishma Deva also had his own personal fire. All the time it was kept in lighting. They would light it all the time, supply fuel and all. And they would give that fire to the other person. They would light a lamp, but his personal fire was all the time being maintained. They had personal consuls, personal chariots, everything was personalized. They had their own specific what you call the consul and the other paraphernalia were present. And Krishna, Arjuna and all the Pandavas, they blew. Panchajanyam Rishikeshu, Devadatam, Dhananjaya, Poundram Dadnu, Mahashankam, Bhishma Karma, Prakodara. So Krishna sounded his Panchajanya, then Arjuna, Devadatta, Bhima, the Poundra, and Ananta Vijaya, Sughosha, Manipushpaka, and all the other Pandavas also, they sounded their personal councils. The sound was uproarious and it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. It said here. The sound was very, very fierce and very much intense, and it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. They were scared. They felt fear in their hearts by hearing that sound. Because the strength was tremendous. Krishna's personally being present on that side gave them that strength, and Duryodhana and his party could feel that this sound is very much scary to them, because they were on the opposite side of the powerful army of Krishna and Pandavas. I'll stop here. So please read the remaining shlokas and come, so that we can have more polemic discussion. There are many points in the purports saying how why Krishna is compared to, is called as Rishikesha. The name Rishikesha means Rishikaisha. He is the Lord of the senses. That's why Bhakti means to engage the senses in the service of the Lord of the senses. Rishikaisha. Sarvopadi Vinirmukta Tatparatva Nirmalam. Rishikenda Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchata. Sarva Upadi. To give up my upadis. Who am I? To give upadis like I am this, I belong to this family, my certain designation. I have to give up all that upadis and engage my senses in the service of the Lord. That is Bhakti. Sarva Upadi Vinirmukta Tatparatvena Nirmalam, with a pure heart. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchat. That is the definition of Bhakti. And today we saw how Duryodhana is doing Senavalokan. He is estimating the strength of the opposite army, and also encouraging his own side by giving encouragement to them by saying how strong is my own army. He is feeling that my army is better than the army of the Pandavas, and then to encourage him, Bhishma blows the conch shell, and in response the Pandavas also blow their response. Here we say the sound of the Pandavas' conch shell was more uproarious and more fearsome, and the Duryodhana party felt that fear in their hearts, right, by hearing this sound. So remaining part will cover in the next week. So kindly come prepared so that we can have more participation. And today is a departure of the mother of Siddharth Prabhu's mother passed away. So we'll chant Hare Krishna mantra for the departing soul. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Sir, I got very badly today. So next week we'll ensure that we'll start by 7:15. 7:15, 8 o'clock will do the task, and we can wind up by 8:50.